Welcome to the Talk of the Town podcast, where each week we bring you valuable insight and information that directly affects our local business community. I'm Danielle Hawley, and I'm the Executive Director of the best Chamber of Commerce around the Fontana Chamber of Commerce. We're not biased, we just speak the truth. And I'm proud to bring you our Talk of the Town podcast with my co-host, Mr. Carlos Garcia of FYI Technologies. Carlos, welcome back, my friend. How's it going?
It's going great, Danielle. Glad to be here.
Good to see you. All right. Well, this week we have one of our very own Fontana Fab Five. That's our, we've coined that phrase around here with us girls at the office. There's 5 of us and we're fab and we're from Fontana. No, we're just owning it. We didn't coin it. Someone called us that. And then we thought it was so funny that we're just owning it. So we have Miss Amanda Morales. She is our special projects coordinator here at the Fontana Chamber. Amanda, welcome to the Talk of the Town podcast. So excited to have you.
Hello.
So Amanda, I know before we dig into what you do here at the Chamber, and I know everyone sees you at all of our events, and I think they just associate you as Chamber, you're just always around all the events, planning, making it happen. But let's talk about you. Who is Amanda Morales when she's not working all the time? Who's this girl?
Who is she now? Well, hi, my name's Amanda. I am a proud Fontana resident. I moved here when I was a year old. I went to elementary school and junior high here. Then I transferred to high school to a private Christian school, which will come back later. I'm a college student. I'll be getting a degree in business administration at the end of the year. And then after that, I plan to go to law school. So super excited.
Awesome. Now, what school are you currently attending?
I go to Western Governors University. It's based out of Utah.
Awesome. Look at you go, girl. Making it happen. Now, I want to touch a little bit on your history here, right? You're not new to the business community, which I think has made you just an excellent fit here at the Chamber with your extensive background and your family history. So can we talk a little bit about your parents and your family history in the business community?
Yes, well, I am the product of a third-generation family business. My parents own a security business here in the city of Fontana. It was started by my dad's dad. And when they immigrated here from Nicaragua, they started the business and it was super successful. And since then, with each generation, each family member that's a part of it, we've been able to grow it. And it's survived so many years. So super excited about that. I really feel like it's instilled in me a really great work ethic. And it's shown me that you can be successful here in America no matter who you are or where you come from. So very, very proud of my family and our business.
I love it. Well, it's been a great influence in your life. I know having you come on to staff, it's just evidence that, I always have to remind myself of how old you are because you're so much wiser beyond your years. And I think it's from all of the time that you've spent, learning about your family's business, being immersed in that. And that's from the age of 9, you've been kind of around.
Started at 9 shredding old files and I would clock in and they would say, you better not be late. You better be here ready to work. I'd get my 30-minute lunch. But I love it. It really has shaped me to who I am. So.
And kudos to your parents for training you young. They've done a fantastic job and it shows in everything that you do, especially here at the Chamber of Commerce, but just in every aspect of your life, just very mature. You know what you want to do. And let's talk about your schooling for a moment. So lawyer, you want to be a lawyer, right?
Yes. I do want to be an attorney. I have such a passion for our legal system and the way the law works here, especially with my family on my dad's side coming from Nicaragua. It's obviously a communist country. So having the ability to have the laws that we have in place here is so exciting. It's really unique. And I think even on its worst day, it is the best legal system in the world. So super, I love that. But I also want to be able to use my skills as a future attorney to help other immigrant-owned small businesses to thrive and be successful here in California. There are a lot of strict rules and regulations here. Everybody that does business here knows that. So I want to help people navigate through that and be successful in this current climate.
I love it.
You're going to be a great mentor for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. So Talk a little bit more about your journey to get to where you are now here at the chamber.
Yes, it is pretty unique. I started off at our president, Phil Cothran's office on his personal staff. He was looking for someone to do some data entry, some little odds and ends here and there. And my history teacher recommended me, and it's super unique. She was actually Danielle's student when Danielle was a history teacher. I went to that private school. My history teacher went to that private school, and Danielle taught there. So it's super unique. I started working for Phil, and as time went on, he started giving me a lot of really great opportunities, and I started to learn more. Eventually, I moved into a full-time capacity and was, taking on bigger projects. And then when there was some moving pieces here at the chamber, I came over, fell in love with it, loved and love our business community, and since then have grown to become the special projects coordinator.
It's the beginning of the Fab Five, right? I feel like we should do a small documentary of the
I
origins of the Fab Five. Right?
Well, she was actually here at the chamber before I was. So
Really?
she's definitely been through a lot of transition and seen a lot of growth. And has really just been my right hand girl since I've come over full time. And I think we've talked a little bit about that transition on a previous episode. So if you're curious, go back to number 1. You can hear about that. But it really truly has been an amazing journey. But we did get to work together outside of the chamber before that. So I knew, the type of person that you were, just trustworthy, just the work ethic, like no one her age. Definitely very mature for her years. And so, when we were shaping her role, and I think that happens, right? Sometimes when you get into a space, you're kind of doing what's needed. And so over this last year, when I became more involved and then eventually took over the role of ED, I really looked at our staffing here at the chamber and was trying to be very intentional, not just what we needed in the moment, but what we needed for future growth and laying that foundation for what was to come, because I knew that growth was happening. Growth is, if you've been around any length of time here, we are just growing exponentially in all areas. And so part of that was taking Amanda's special skill set and just ability to put on events and manage details and sensitive conversations and things like that. So she truly is our special projects coordinator. I think that just encompasses all the things that she does. Even things that we probably won't even talk about today, but you definitely have your hand in so many behind the scenes things that really make us successful. So I want to dig into a little bit about that, because you do manage some of the contracts that we have here. You have your pulse on some things that are happening in terms of legislation and the events that we put on. There's so much that you do here. So let's dig into that a little bit.
Yes. So one of the first things that I help with and have started helping with at the chamber is our big special events. One of them is our gala that we host every year to install our board of directors. It is the best event in the city, best event of the year, super well attended and super exciting. All the dignitaries from all over the region come, and it's a really fun night to celebrate our business community. And then I also do the State of the City in collaboration with the City of Fontana, which is a really, really great event. This year we broke the record. We had so many attendees. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was probably double of what we had last year. And that just goes to show how our business community, that's what it was, right? And it just goes to show how much the business community is thriving here in the city of Fontana. And then I also help with our education. We have a contract with Entrepreneur High School in Fontana. And we work very closely with their staff to make sure that the curriculum is in line with the needs of the business community at the moment, and the business community in 4 years when the students graduate. And we also provide career technical education opportunities, and sometimes that's tours, sometimes that's internships, sometimes that's job shadows, but we work really closely with them just to make sure that our business community has what it needs for the future. So I love that I do. Shout out to the ambassador team. They're one of my favorite pieces here at the chamber. I call them the Miss Fontanas of the chamber. But they are a group of elite professionals that donate their time to the chamber. They help us at all of our events, and they all give so selflessly of their time to help us out, help our staff out. We have a very small staff of 5, but we're able to accomplish such amazing things because of the help of our ambassadors. So love them. I help coordinate that with Jackie, who's also on our staff. And then I also do the advocacy for the chamber. which we have really beefed up this year, and towards the end of last year. We were everywhere doing everything, but we have a very firm stance that we will stand up for our business community, and we will fight to make sure that regulations and laws are not being passed that's going to harm our business community, but also making sure that they feel like they have the resources and the help necessary to navigate the political climate here in California.
Yeah. And you do a fantastic job. And, like you mentioned, anybody who's done business here, you know, the state of California, you had to stay on top of it, right? And that's part of what we do here at the Chamber. Our mission statement for the last 110 years, we are so proud of this. We serve as the advocate, voice, and resource to our local business community. And so, like Amanda mentioned, we have had so many moving pieces over this last year, and almost like a vision board of where we wanted to go. And we realized, okay, with the 5 of us now, you know, and especially the things that you and I work so closely on, just our bandwidth has been so stretched. And so we've been, you know, kind of picking and choosing. And so now we feel like we have a lot of those pieces in place. Things are cruising right along. And so now we're really ramping up and focusing on our advocacy efforts because it is so vital and so important. We are a member of Cal Chamber and work, you know, closely with them, but other partner organizations that we're also a part of, you know, it takes a whole entire community statewide to be able to track and manage many of these laws and things that are trying to be passed because it impacts various industries. And as you know, our chamber is so diverse. We have so many different entities and fields that are represented. So, you know, if something's hurting our transportation logistics folks, we want to know about that. And so we're really excited, especially it's 2024, it's an election year. You know, what better time to really ramp up those efforts? So you will be hearing more about you know, what we're doing here at the Chamber, calls to action. And we've been pretty active already, extremely active, probably more than any other chamber that I can really think of, not even just locally, but statewide with a lot of these initiatives and things. And so I really look forward to seeing that developing more. And I know that you're really the backbone of getting that going and maintaining it and just really staying on top of it. In fact, you were on a Zoom call this morning, right, with the CTA,
Yes.
Association, California Trucking Association, for some legislative updates going into the summer, you know. So yeah, anything else you want to add about advocacy?
Yes, I think Fontana is super unique. So the CTA is the California Trucking Association. As everybody knows, Fontana plays such a vital role in our supply chain. We know there are so many things that are manufactured in our Southwest Industrial Park, but also all of the goods that are moved through the city of Fontana. And I know Danielle has that statistic memorized when we went to the Walmart distribution opening. And so I'll let her share that when I'm done with this. But there are so many pieces of legislation that go through the state assembly or the state senate that really try to shut down our supply chain. And so we met this morning to discuss. It's almost the end of the legislative session. The legislators will go on a break for summer, but there's so many bills that are super vital that we're going to be sharing with you guys in e-blast. We're going to be starting to create an advocacy newsletter for those of you that are really passionate about following these bills or learning more about it. We're going to have some seminars to teach you about the legislative process so you can get involved. But there are a lot of bills that we've been able to defeat, particularly EB 1000 that was proposed by Assemblymember Eloise Gomez-Reyes. That was going to harm so many businesses here in the city of Fontana and future businesses. One in particular is Kaiser Permanente. They weren't going to be able to keep their supplies at their location, which would have created so many issues. We know Kaiser is one of the backbone businesses here in the city of Fontana that provides so many jobs and obviously necessary medical care to all of our citizens. So advocacy is a super big part of the Fontana Chamber, and we're right here right now. We're about to level up in a huge way. So stay tuned for all of the exciting new initiatives that we're going to be putting in place for all of you.
Yes, we're excited.
And thanks for fighting for our businesses too. You guys have done a fantastic job. So keep up the great work.
Thank you. So let me share that statistic with you because we call ourselves the second port the inland port, right? And that really is true just in the nature of our geography and the flow of goods from the Port of LA and the Port of Long Beach. It all travels through our corridor and gets dispersed, repackaged, however it is, or it's made here. And so I think a lot of people, and this is part of what we've been really trying to change the narrative about, is that Southwest Industrial Park. Everybody thinks, oh, they're just warehouses. And we call them job creation centers. Yes, some of them are warehouses, but many of them are manufacturers. And so we have so many hundreds of manufacturers here in Fontana. You'd be surprised what's made here. But going back to that piece on Walmart, and I'm talking to all of you listening because every single one of us orders online. I don't see anybody stopping. You got your Amazon, your Walmart Plus, your Target, whatever it is that you order from. Well, guess what? Those warehouses, right, are necessary. And for Walmart in particular, we had the opportunity to go to their transportation center. And they said that 64%, you guys, of the entire United States, right? So when they go online, 64% of what they order from Walmart, guess where it passes through and comes from? Fontana. So if we shut that down, what is that going to do not only to our region here, but nationwide, right? So the impacts of legislation, when I think, we sometimes see some of these bills that seem targeted to specific geographic areas locally, the impacts are far more reaching than just something here, right? It's not just going to affect us here in Fontana. This is a nationwide domino effect that would be created essentially, right? If AB 1000 would have passed, I mean, just think what a disaster that would have been on so many different levels. You shared about Kaiser. And so, just thinking bigger picture and, how we can rally to better equip and educate our business community of, what's happening. And I think oftentimes, right, we're all guilty of it. We don't really pay attention to things until they directly affect us. But like you mentioned, Fontana is so unique that we have our hands in so many different areas economically, that a hit to one area is dramatically going to affect us and the nation in some cases, right? And so as leaders here within our business community, we have a great relationship with our mayor, our city council. They are 100% pro-business, stand behind our business community. And so I think that is a testament to our success here, not only as a chamber, but just with the influence we have in the region to continue to say that, yes, Fontana is open for business. And yes, we're going to make decisions that will keep that phrase going and make it, applicable. We want people to live, work, and play here in Fontana. But we're also going to be in tune and wise because we need to be good stewards of what we have. And if we're business owners and in the business sector, we need to be aware of what's coming. And I tell my staff this all the time. But for our business community, we need to be proactive and not reactive. And so taking these hard stances on certain pieces of legislation, but really being aware of them, helps us better equip our business community to know what's happening and what's coming down from Sacramento so that we can take a stand if necessary. We can make a trip up there. We've done that several times as a chamber, taken several advocacy trips to meet with our legislators. So we're really excited about that. I think it's no better time than now. So stay tuned. And Amanda, you're doing just such a fantastic job leading the charge on that. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So before we wrap up, what are your future goals? I know we talked about what you're doing. I know, law school and all of these things, but, maybe what's your 5-year plan and your 10-year plan for your life?
Yes, my 5-year plan, I hope to have just passed the bar and be able to practice here in the state of California. A lot of people don't know, but California has one of the toughest bars in the nation, if not the toughest bar. So if you're listening, cross your fingers and toes, send a prayer for me so make sure that I pass in 5 years. And then my 10-year goal would just to have a list of businesses that have been able to be successful, not only in Fontana, but in all of Southern California, immigrant businesses. I would love to start a nonprofit specifically to help with those immigrant-owned businesses or just small businesses in general. Would love to do that. And then obviously making time, hopefully by then maybe I have a family a kid or two as well that's successful here in the city of Fontana. But I plan to stay here. I plan to thrive here. Our council is making so many changes. I hope to be grabbing a drink in our downtown that I know is going to be coming soon, going to a concert or two at Stage Red. But I'm super excited to see all of the great things that our city has to offer in 5 and 10 years.
I love
That's
it.
awesome.
Well, your future is bright. The city's future is bright. The chamber's future is bright. And I know that you're just such an integral part of making this vision come to pass. And I said 2024 growth like never before. That's the vision that I had for this year. And it wouldn't be possible without amazing, competent, amazing staff. I just can't say it enough. The staff that we have here is phenomenal. But you in particular, like I said, you're my right-hand girl. And I couldn't do this without you. So I personally am very thankful for you and appreciative of all the work that you do and the things that go unseen, maybe, to everyone else, the hours of, late nights. And sometimes we shed some tears and we're like, we're going to make it happen. And we always do. And we come out better than we were before. And so I'm so excited that we're on this journey together. I'm so excited that you're here at the chamber, and I can't wait to see what the future holds. It's bright, very bright.
Yes, I'm excited.
Yeah, thanks for being here, Amanda. It's definitely, we got to know a new part of, just all these dreams and goals that you have that we didn't even know about. So that's awesome.
Well, once again, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. You can find us on all major streaming platforms, and you can even see our smiley faces. Did you know that we're on YouTube as well? So if you want to see us, catch us on YouTube. If not, we are on every major streaming platform. But we appreciate you guys taking time out of your busy weeks to just pop in and see what's going on here at the chamber as we highlight all of the folks that are a part of our chamber family, making our vision come to life. So until next week, we hope you guys have a fantastic week. Thank you, Carlos. Thank you, Amanda. And we'll catch you next time on the Talk of the Town podcast.